We are live. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can hear us, and we are live. I'm live today with Jonas Galvez from Brazil. Another Galvez on everywhere. You will find him online, and also here on Twitch as another Galvez. He's not streaming though, but we will get him set up so that he will start streaming in the future. So I'm very happy about him. I don't know. Hi. Can you hear us?
Hey everyone.
Can you hear us well? Yeah, hopefully. So, can or can't? Should be able to hear us. Hopefully.
All right.
All right.
So for those who don't know me, I'm Jonas Galvez. I'm a principal engineer at NodeSource. I've been working in open source for, 5 years now. Previously, I was a core contributor to the Nuxt.js framework. I'm a big Vue fan. But in the past 2 years, I have been focused on Fastify and Vite. So let me start with a bit of background on what fastify-dx is. So,
sorry, we didn't talk about it. So why Jonas is with me today? Because a long time ago, you probably have seen it on Twitter and stuff. But a long time ago, Jonas and myself, I hired Jonas when I was working at Nearform, and at that time, Jonas started working on this initiative called fastify-dx, and since then, at that time, I was so busy for work stuff that I could not really do a demo with him. It will never get me to do a demo of the stuff together. And then I left, then he changed jobs, and then here we are with him demoing the fastify-dx live with all of you, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to put your slides on screen. Let's see if that works. Okay, now we have the slides on screen. Okay, amazing.
Awesome.
And yay! So please go ahead, Jonas.
Sure. Yeah, funny thing, by the time I finished the first iteration of fastify-dx, it was still using Vite v2. And literally like a month later, V3 came out. And that was a problem because V3 had some substantial changes, and it actually took me another 2 months to finish debugging everything with the limited time I had to work on it. But it's finally working in V3.
But what is fastify-dx?
A lot of the bugs. Yeah, we'll get to that. So fastify-dx is what I like to say the missing piece in the Fastify ecosystem. It brings the front end aspect of web development into Fastify, because right now we have this state-of-the-art suite of tools, which is Fastify and all its plugins for back-end development with JavaScript. But everyone is using things like Next.js, Nuxt.js, the new Remix, and these frameworks that are specifically tailored to do SSR, in this case, server-side rendering. So server-side rendering was one of the things that was missing from the Fastify ecosystem. You can run Next.js with Fastify, you can run Nuxt.js with Fastify, but still, when you do that, you are relying, you're delegating everything to that framework instead of doing things on the Fastify side. And by delegating the SSR setup to these frameworks, you get a lot of things in your node modules, and you get a really big setup. And most importantly, you get a setup that you can't really know everything that's going on under the hood, because frameworks abstract away all the complexity. These frameworks tend to abstract the complexity and hide things from us to improve developer experience. Which brings me to the first slide I have. So that's the motivation and philosophy of fastify-dx. Universal, and by universal I mean client and server JavaScript shouldn't be hard. Frameworks abstract away all complexity in favor of better DX. And like I said, I was a core contributor to Nuxt.js, which is a framework that does this. It tries to really take care of everything for you. I like to say that it's a framework first approach as opposed to a server first approach. You don't have like a server.js file in your Nuxt.js project or a Next.js project. You have the CLI, and the CLI takes care of everything, boots the server, and all you need to care about is where you place the files and how you place them. So with fastify-dx, I'm trying to bring a server-first approach where you have your Fastify server and you start from there. And for that, I found that Vite, which is this Vue tool comparable to Webpack that came out a few years ago by the creator of the Vue framework. I think Vite provides the cleanest abstraction layer for this type of integration. So we can have client code properly delivered by our JavaScript server in a way where we know what's going on under the hood and there are no unknowns. So you don't have to sacrifice transparency for good developer experience. You don't have to compromise on performance, and you can stay in control. Your node modules can stay small. That is the gist of the motivation and philosophy I had in coming up with this project. So the first thing to understand is that fastify-dx is built upon fastify-vite. So fastify-vite is a Fastify plugin. It hooks your Vite client code for delivery from Fastify. In development mode, everything is served by Vite, and that works by integrating Vite's development server, which is a Express-like middleware that hooks into our Fastify server. If you're running development mode, all requests will go through the Vite development server, including the assets, so you don't have to worry about that. And in production mode, you have to build your client bundle first, and then fastify-vite will serve that, and it will automatically set up fastify static for the assets. So the key point here is that there are two ways to run fastify-vite. One is development mode, where the Vite development server is booted, and in production mode, Vite development server does not get started. It works by loading the pre-built bundle that you have. Okay. So fastify-dx is fastify-vite. It's just a set of highly calculated configuration options for fastify-vite. So we'll get into that. So what fastify-dx does, it leverages fastify-vite configuration options. So you can see that those in fastify-vite repository, where you have the tutorial on how to use fastify-vite standalone if you want to, but there are a bunch of configuration options that let you completely customize how your Vite bundle is loaded, how routes are registered, how the result of your SSR gets inlined into an HTML, how streaming is handled. You can do all of that by using fastify-vite's configuration options. So it leverages a few of these options, like prepare client is used to pick up client routes in the context.js file. We'll get into that in a bit. Create HTML function is used to handle the HTML delivery. Create render function lets you create the function that will actually perform SSR. Create route is used to automatically generate extra routes. And I will give you a sneak peek of what that looks like. And also, by using Vite's virtual modules features, some files are also made available into a project without requiring them to actually exist there. So let me show you real quick what fastify-dx looks like. So I have here the Fastify React repository. This is essentially a fastify-vite render adapter, and render adapter is an umbrella term I'm using to
Can you increase a little bit the font of your editor, because it might be tiny? I don't know. I don't know what people will think.
I don't think you can do that in Sublime.
Oh, yeah, really?
Well, let me see. Yeah. Is it too small?
I don't know. What do you think, folks?
Okay, yeah.
No, it's okay for me. Okay. No, it's just me that see it very small, or very big. Yeah, it's fine. People say it's fine. So if it's fine for them, that's fine for us.
So before So before I show you the code for fastify-dx real quick, let me show you what the boilerplate looks like. So this is your server.js file. You import Fastify, you import fastify-vit, and you import fastify-react, which is what I was saying, is a render adapter for fastify-vit. So when you pass in the option here, renderer, and you say fastify-react, you're actually giving fastify-vit a bunch of options in a row. So that's essentially the setup. You have your Fastify server, you register the Fastify-vit plugin, wait for it to be ready. This only matters in development mode. In production mode, it should go straight through, and then you start your server. And so you see here, React is imported from here. Let me show you what that looks like. So in here, essentially you have these exports, and these are all fastify-vit options. That's all fastify-dx is. A carefully planned set of fastify-vit options. So let me go back into my slides. So this is the minimal boilerplate. Other than that, you need a vit-config.js file. And that brings me to another point. Most frameworks, like I said, try to hide away the complexity and abstract away the complexity into their own terms. Even frameworks that use Vit has a build to. I think for fastify-dx, I wanted to keep things transparent. So even though it would have been possible to hide that file, to eliminate the need for having a Vit config file in your project, I wanted to keep it there because that opens up the possibility of extending your front-end setup with even more Vit plugins. And like I said, I wanted to know what's going on. I wanted things to be transparent. So that's why a Vit config file is now part of the minimal boilerplate, and it's actually a requirement that you have your Vit config file together with your server. So in addition to the Vit config file, you need the Vit plugin for your framework of choice, the Vit client source folder. That's the code that's going to be bundled and sent to the client, and your Fastify server with Fastify-vit. And in this example I'm demoing, it would be Fastify-react, but it could also be Fastify-view, Fastify-solid, or Fastify-svelte. So let me show you what the Vit config file looks like. So I was just showing you the Fastify-react folder. This is the actual Fastify-react package. And here I have the React starter. And this is also one of the reasons why I have a starters. In most frameworks, like I said, they abstract everything. So all you need is a CLI and a single file in your project, and it should take care of everything, boot everything. Not with fastify-dx. Fastify-dx is a server-first approach. So you have your server file and you have your Vit config file, and this is what the Vit config looks like. So you have here, let me just move this thing real quick. All right. So I import the plugin React from the Vit namespace. This is the official Vit plugin for React. Then I import the Fastify React plugin. I'm also using Jonas CSS for this example. We add some CSS goodies. Then we have the root, the plugins. The root is the location of your client code. The plugins is the plugins that we're going to need. In this case, Vit React, Fastify React, and Jonas CSS. And then we have the export, which sets the configuration options. And those are root plugins and SSR external. This is just a workaround to tell Vit that it should use external, it should consider this module external. When using Vit, there will be a number of occasions where you have situations where you need to specify whether or not a node module should be considered external or part of your setup, in which case it would perform optimizations and bundling of its own. So that's why we have this setting here. So this is the Vit config file, and this is the server file. This is the starter for fastify-dx React. So very much like the boilerplate I showed in the slides. You have here those imports, and you have the setup here at the end. But in this example, I'm also adding a simple DB property to the server and a couple of endpoints to update that to-do list array and delete items from that to-do list array. So let me go back to my slides here. So the routing system, well, let me dive into the source code for a bit. So you have the server and the Vite file, and post CSS config here is just added for convenience. So you have access to modern CSS features such as CSS nesting, which is provided by post CSS present, and I made it part of the boilerplate. So this is at the top level, you have those configuration files, you have a package file, server and Vite, and in client, you have the code that will be bundled and sent to the client. Let's take a look at that. So in the client code, the starting point, it's the index.html file, because Vite actually requires this file in order to do its build. When you look at index.html, you see that it has the script type module, and it's linking to a mount.js file behind the DX namespace. I'll explain that in a bit. So, but the first thing to understand is that Vite will load the starting point for module resolution is the index.html file. From this file, it will infer all script tags that you have, type module, as long as they're a type module, and it will load and bundle and load everything that these files require and prepare your build. So you always require, you always need to have an index.html file by using Vite in this vanilla setup, because like I said, frameworks tend to hide away these details and make things optional. And that is not to say I didn't make a few things optional in fastify-dx, but I think this is an important piece of the code base, because if you don't have this file, chances are in the future you're going to need to have a file like this. Frameworks have, they allow you to add a file that will serve as the index template. With fastify-dx, it comes as part of the starter template, because then you can customize and add other things. And I will also get into a bit of that on what fastify-dx allows you to customize, how fastify-dx allows you to customize this file. But first, let's talk about this script here. You can see that it's including mount.js, but mount.js is not here. It's not in the client folder. So every time you have an import with the dx prefix, it's actually doing, it's actually checking if the package, in this case, the Fastify React package, includes that file for you, a standard version of the file. And if it does, it will use that. But if you want to customize, then all you have to do is add your own mount.js file into your client folder. In the documentation, you're going to find a list of the virtual modules that are provided as part of the setup. So these files are optional in your project because they are provided by fastify-dx. And here's the full list. In this case, I'm talking about dx mount, which is the first piece of JavaScript that loads in the client and boots the application in the client. But typically, you won't have to change this file. The chances of you having to change this file are minimal unless you're actually trying something with fastify-dx itself. So I didn't see a need to include that into the starter template. That's why I'm using the dx prefix here to include it. And there are, like you saw, there are other files that are included in this fashion. So this is the starting point of your Vite front-end application, the index.html file. You see here that it has a few HTML comments, like the head and the element, hydration. These comments are pretty much treated as variables. So Fastify Vite includes a function that essentially turns this entire index.html file into a templating function. So if you pass an object with head, element, and hydration properties you should get your HTML generated. And that's essentially how it includes your SSR fragment into the template that's sent to the client. So in the client folder, we have the index.html file, and you also have index.js file. So this is pertinent to Fastify Vite. This file, well, it helps to see like this. When you have server.js, in server.js, when you have here root, this root configuration option is the location of your Vite config file. And in your Vite config file, then you have the location of your actual client folder. So there are two roots. The root that you pass to the server, and that's the location of your Vite config file, and the root in the Vite config file itself, which is the client code. So you see here that the setup doesn't specify those things, just the root and everything's taken care of you. So the way it does that is by treating your client code as a module itself. So Fastify Vite will learn from the Vite config file that your client code is in the client folder, and suddenly client folder becomes a JavaScript module. And this is useful because if this weren't an SSR application, if this was a static bundle that gets delivered to the client and all the rendering happens on the client with no SSR involved, then all you would need is the mount file and the index.html file, and your code, of course, but there wouldn't be any SSR involved. In this case, we want SSR. So we want to be able to expose your application code, your front-end application code, to the server side, so we can, for instance, do SSR for a React component for a route. So the way it does that is by treating the client. Your client bundle has a module, and it will look for an index.js file. This is configurable, but by default, it will look for an index.js file. And in here, you're going to see that it exports a context file, your routes, and a create function. The create function is the function responsible for actually booting the client app, in this case, the React application. And the routes are the client-side routes. These are the routes that were client-side for history navigation, when you change the route, the location, without having to reload the page. But we want to be able to register a single Fastify route for each of those client routes, so we can leverage Fastify hooks for those individual routes on the server as well. And that is why with fastify-dx, you export the routes and you make them available. So Fastify Vite can look through those routes and register an individual endpoint for each of them. So I talked about the index.html file and the index.js file. So these are central. These are essential. These are going to appear in every fastify-dx project. You're going to have an index.html file, and you're going to have an index.js file where you can optionally provide other things for the server. So in the starter template, I also have a root.js.jsx file. And this is the root component. And the only reason why I have this file as the starter, as part of the starter template, is because there is a very high likelihood of people needing to change this and customize this. So I wanted to keep it transparent. This is what's going on. You have your router, your React router, your React router routes, and we also import CSS here. So CSS gets enabled, but CSS is not part of Fastify React, the package. So if you look at root.jsx in Fastify React under virtual, you're going to see that it looks very much the same, but it doesn't have the CSS import. And like I said, if you have a file in your project that has the same name as one of the virtual files, the virtual files are not used, and your file is used instead. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about routing. So in here we have pages, and by default, fastify-dx will use file system-based routing. So it will automatically generate an index route from the index.jsx file and all those other routes, okay? Let me go back to my slides, and this is precisely what I was talking about, routing system. So you have this file system-based routing, but you can also export a path constant from your route components. And if you would do that, whatever you export is used instead of the setup of the file system. But this is still subject to experimentation and refinement. This is one of the first areas that I'm going to be working on improving. But I just wanted to make a few comments about it so you know what's going on. So, okay, let's dive into a quick demo here. So this is the starter template for fastify-dx React. I have this folder here. Let me go here. Yeah, so this is client, server. This is what we were looking at. Let me show you what package.json looks like. So for package.json, in dev mode, you're passing the --dev, and fastify-vit will automatically identify that you're trying to run this in development mode. But if you want to customize that behavior, you can just say here, dev process argv includes something else, okay? But by default, it will look for the --dev flag. So this is dev, this is how you run dev, and this is how you run production. But before you run production, you need to build. Let's see what happens if you try to run before building. I'm going to delete this folder, and I'm going to do node server.js. You'll essentially get an error, no distribution bundle found. But if you do npm run build, and then you start again, then it should find automatically by using the settings from your vit-config file, it should find your distribution bundle, and things will get back to working. So you see here also that we have two builds. We have a client build and a server build. And I'm going to explain why. So the vit, the client build, these are the things that are sent to the browser. So it includes CSS files, the index.html file, as media files. These are the things that are sent to the client. You also have a server build, and these are the things only the server requires. So the server does not require an SVG asset or a CSS asset in order to do server-side rendering. All it needs is the content of your actual React components. So that's why the server bundle is significantly smaller than the client bundle, because all it includes are the things that are required for SSR. So I just wanted to go over some details around working with this, because this can be confusing. If you're used to having your framework take care of everything for you, you actually, in the case of fastify-dx, you're going to need to have your separate vit build comments. And also this goes back to the why I have a starter template, because even though the amount of boilerplate is minimal, you still have some boilerplate that it's best that you have a starting point to work with. So, okay, let me go back to the demo here. So let me start this in development mode. So these are just some warnings related to the virtual modules that I was talking about. These files do not exist. They are provided by Vit. I couldn't find a way to hide these warnings yet, but I think it's possible. This is one of the things on my to-do list. So let me load this. Okay, so we have fastify-dx serving this application in development mode. And you see here, you have pages, you have index. This is what the index page looks like. the component responsible for rendering the view is always going to be the default export, but you can also have a few extra exports, like for instance, get meta, and that's used to define things like the title for the page. You do that with get meta by exporting this function. So in here, you have just the context for the index page. Let me dive into the features. So first, I'm going to talk about data fetching and hydration. So fastify-dx provides this concept of a universal route context, and you also provides a hook that looks exactly the same no matter which framework you use, no matter if you're using React, Vue, Svelte, or Solid, it's always going to be use route context. And when we talk about data fetching, inevitably we have to talk about hydration, because SSR, when we do SSR, your JavaScript code is actually running twice. It runs on the server, where the first snapshot of the markup is produced, and then it runs again on the client. The difference is that when it runs on the client, then the framework is smart enough to understand that, hey, this was pre-rendered on the server, so I have to work less to show this to the user. So when you have SSR, typically there's a change in the API that you use, and also the HTML comes with a fragment that says, hey, this was rendered server-side, because then the client does not have to run any JavaScript in order to display that fragment of HTML again. So, but it's important to understand that your code will run on the server and it will run again on the client. So if you have a React component running on the server and it does an HTTP request on the server to retrieve some data, and then it uses that data to render the component, when it loads on the client will expect that same data to be available. Otherwise, it won't be able to properly hydrate. It won't be able to properly render the component code again. And if that happens, typically what you get is exactly that, an hydration mismatch error. So the way frameworks handle that is the same way fastify-dx does. And I'm going to show it now. So using data, this route demonstrates how to leverage the get data function and use route context to retrieve server data for a route. Let's take a look at that. So this is the route using data. Let me go here into using data.jsx. Let me make this font really big here. So in here I have use state from React, link from React router done, and you have use route context from dxcore.js. This file, as I have explained before, is provided by fastify-dx. You don't have to have a core.jsx file in your project unless you want to customize things or add more features. So you have these exports. You have get meta for defining the title, and you also have get data. Sorry, you have get meta for defining the title, and you have get data for getting data for the page. And I'm going to explain how that works. So if you're familiar with Next.js, this is pretty much get server-side props. So this function, it runs on the server, and you can access the return value from it by getting data from use route context. And the magic that happens here is that when you're running this component on the server, you get data directly. But when you're running on the client, what happens, and let me show you live what happens. So I'm going to go back to the index, open my developer tools. So when I go to using data, client side, because I'm clicking here and it's using React router, and it's not going to trigger another HTTP request. It will just update the location in place. So when you do that, what happens? Yeah, this is already loaded. Let me refresh. effort here. So when you go here, what happens is that it will automatically perform an HTTP request to that same route you have here using data, but it will go to dash data using data. This endpoint right here is registered automatically for you the minute you have a get data export. So if you look through the Fastify React package, let me go here, Fastify React index. When you are registering a route from your client code, this is the create route function. It checks if your route metadata, and this is, in this case, this is the route component. This is this file. If this file contains a get data export, then we automatically register an endpoint, so we're able to retrieve data from it, no matter if we're doing SSR, first render, or if we're navigating through client-side navigation. So the key difference here is that if you try to load this page using data, if you try to load this page in SSR, then you get the data already, and there is no request to that endpoint because the data was retrieved on the server, and it comes inlined into the HTML document, has an iterated piece. Well, let me show you here. Script. So in here you have window route, and this is the route metadata, and here you have data, to-do list, and all the data that was retrieved on the server made available to the client so it can stay working. So Next.js, Nuxt.js do exactly the same. The difference is that you're going to find something like window next data or window underscore Nuxt, where this data comes inlined. So this is how this component is able to stay working even after SSR, because the data was retrieved on the server, but it comes hydrated to the client. But if you are navigating, then there is no data to be hydrated. So in this case, it needs to fire up that using data request through that endpoint that it gets automatically registered. So you have your data. Is this clear to you, Matteo?
Yeah, it is. It is. I just wanted to say, can I play a little bit with it? Because I'm actually very, very keen. Now, how many slides have you got more to go?
Oh, yeah. I think I need maybe 5 minutes more.
5 minutes. You got 5 minutes, and then
right.
you drive me in doing some stuff.
All right. So yeah, so this is the data fetching and hydration. And let me just go back here to the code. You see that get data essentially becomes data once you use route context. And then I have the vanilla code for this React. But here, the index, and you go back to using data, it's gone because that state is local to the component, right? So this is one of the things I loved about Nuxt.js. Nuxt.js includes a global state through Vuex, which is a state management library for Vue. But essentially, you start your app by defining your global state, and you have a clean way to work with that state. And I wanted to do something similar for fastify-dx. So if you go to using store, you'll have the same to-do list, but if you add something to it, and you go back, and you go back, you're going to see that it's still there. And how does it do that? And now we're going to talk about my favorite fastify-dx feature. So if I go here to using store, you're going to see that instead of importing data, it's importing snapshot, state, and actions. And these are all coming from use route context. So all of this is set up by the context.js file, which, by the way, is optional. You don't have to have this file, but you will most likely want to have this file once you learn what it does. So this file, let me go ahead and show the slides for it here. So this file it contains the universal initialization function for anything you want, including setting up the state. And you also have a state property that you can export from this file. And whatever gets set on the server for the state also gets hydrated automatically on the client, very much the same way the data property gets hydrated. So let me show you that. This is the state initialization function. Well, it's not a state initialization function because you can run anything here. But the key point to understand is that this function will run for every route, both on the server and on the client. In this case, I'm checking if I'm on the server, and on the server, I pick up the to-do list from the DB property and I set the state. Because by doing this, I know that the client will get it because the state property from the context gets automatically hydrated. From this file, we can also export anything you want, and these things will be available from use route context, okay? So back to context.js, you have a fetch export, just a convenience function for fetching. And this is the thing I was talking about. The state property must be a function. It's the initialization for your state, and it gets automatically hydrated on the client. And you also have these actions, which basically work on your state. I'm using this Vault.io library for React state management that allows for proxy-based state management. That's why I don't have to have function calls. I just use assignments. In the case of lists, I can do push, I can do splice, and everything works. So you see here that I have the state with user authenticated files and to-do list. The to-do list gets populated on the server only because it's automatically hydrated, and then you have some actions that can work on it. So you have add to-do item that will perform a fetch and will also update the state, and you have remove to-do item, which will remove and update the state as well. So in using store, you see here actions, state, and snapshot. The snapshot is what you pass to your React component because it's especially optimized to avoid re-rendering if things for parts of it that are not updated, that don't need to be updated. So you use snapshot in your React component, the actual markup, and you use state to perform changes on the state itself. So when I click the button, add item is called, and then action, add to the item from actions is called, I pass in a reference from the state and the value, and this gets run. And the reason why I love this so much is that it reminds me of the Nuxt.js plugins, which have this very similar nature of running once on the server, once on the client, and giving you freedom to do these kinds of things. But I decided to wrap everything together. In Nuxt.js, you have plugins and you have a state. In fastify-dx, you have the context.js file that essentially serves as a plugin of sorts for a route that will extend your route context, give it a state, give it actions, and you also have this initialization function. I'm almost out of time, right? So let me just show you another small feature
A
here,
little
which is
bit.
the
I think
layouts.
I just want to try a little bit with it, man. You know, give me some
let me
action.
show you the layout system. Okay, so you have seen the using store path, and let me show you the using auth. So this route needs authentication. Click this button to authenticate. So let me show you what that looks like using auth. All this route has different from the other ones I have shown is that it contains this export. So by setting a layout to auth, it will automatically use layouts/auth. And this is a layout component. It will render your route component as children. And in this case, I'm using the same route context.js file to use the snapshot user authenticated to conditionally render my route component. Okay, I think I have shown you enough now. You wanna play with it?
Of course, let's do that. Okay, so let's let's do that. Okay, so let's.
Want to share your screen instead?
Yay! Here you go. Okay. Yeah. It will come. It will arrive. So, so what should I do? You should be seeing this in here. Just a second. So you should be able to see it inside your. So this is the window, and yeah, okay. So you should be able to see
Yes.
the my terminal on one of the various windows we have together. I can actually also do something for you. Just a second. Let me see if I can do something for you, and I can actually do this. We have a very complex setup to do this kind of stuff for whatever reason. So one and two, no, one and two.
Do,
Okay, so
do
now you
have,
should be able to see them on our Zoom chat. So that's probably better. Okay.
so yeah, I recommend you starting with the starter.
Yeah. So what
Because
should
then
I
you're
do?
gonna have
What
yeah.
should I do?
So go to the. Do you have the Git installed? The
Git.
Git.
I have Git installed.
No. Let me share this here in
Okay.
the
Let's
chat.
let's go to Chrome. Okay. And
Just a sec.
and just a second.
All right. So what you want to do is do something like the Git,
Sorry.
and
Okay.
then
You want me to do to fastify-dx, the website?
oh, sorry.
Fastify-dx.
Yeah, this is yeah. You should
Okay.
do. Sorry. Are you seeing the chat? I'm placing a few things here in the Twitch chat.
Okay. Digit. What is
Yeah.
digit?
Yeah, it will basically load a copy of that path into the GitHub from the GitHub repository.
Okay. Okay. So let's do that then.
Use the last one I posted.
Yeah, just a second. I have, as usual, let me see. Just a second. I need to do a fix. And Cato Stream Deck. Just a second. I need to tweak my setup so that wait for title just a second. It's terminal when and should be good. Sorry, I just need to probably restart this. Yeah, sorry, quick restart time.
No worries.
Things are not working as expected. So, okay, let's try it again. And, okay. Oh, didn't work as expected. You got your stream back on. So, just a second. It's Zoom. I don't want Zoom here. Okay, I want the terminal. Okay. And, sorry about it. I need to go in here, terminal when, source, terminal when, yeah, okay. Now should be good. Okay, so we are here. So let's install dgit. Okay, and -G. And I need to copy something, right? So
Yeah, from the Twitch chat. Yeah.
okay, so from the Twitch chat. Okay. So
Use the last one.
it's the last one. Just a second. I need to do. So this is terminal when. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this works. Cool. Okay. So you want me to
first create a directory?
Yeah. I've already have a directory. So okay. So here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay. So here we go. Oh, whoa. Okay. You have a lot of stuff. Okay. NPMI.
NPM is, yeah.
Cool. I'm also playing with my Stream Deck, and I have some custom config so that I don't get myself lost in Windows. So I always flip the right windows correctly. So Let's see if those works. So this is installing, okay. And this is the same stuff that you showed me before, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now in order to start this, I would need to do, if I listen to you correctly, I think I can just do npm run dev.
Yep.
It didn't work.
Oh, there's which node version you're running on?
Node 16.
Huh, that's odd.
It's
I tried
it's
on the
missing.
16.
Cannot find module history.
Yeah, just add that one file and I'll figure out what's going on there. Yep.
It's a module that I installed from npm.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's required by React. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should work now.
Yay. Nope. It's not a constructor.
All right, let's debug this live. Go into the go into your editor.
Hmm?
Go into your editor. So this error is coming from context.js file. Let me ping the version of KY that I was using, because what happened probably is that you got an updated version from npm and that broke things. Can you check the version for KY that you have?
Oh, it's KY the problem.
Yeah. But is this node 18 or node 16?
This is node 16. Should I try with node 16? Node 18?
Yeah, try with node 18. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So npmi, cool. Still the same. And then npm run dev. No, now it's working. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Also need to change the listen. Yeah, forgot to do that.
Okay, so now I can. So this is running. What port is this running?
3000. 3000.
Yeah, print something out of it. Okay, really print something out of it. Okay, so 3000 port 3000. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I get. There is something. Okay, cool. Server only. Okay. Using store. Oh, cool. Hello. Okay. Well, this is working. Okay. Very interesting. Cool. So, what are we going to? What can I do here? So right now we have. So this is what. Okay, this is what we see in the code, and in here you see that, for example, there is this using store, and you say hello Jonas, and we can store stuff in there. Okay, and then if I reload, it's still there. Cool. Okay. This seems something. Okay. So what can we do with it? We start hooking some of the stuff on some of the stuff here on the by using, for example, my new thing, Platformatic. Can I just hook it up? How can I hook it up? I can hook it up in several different ways if I can understand my.
It's a Fastify app.
So let's do something very insane. Okay, so I'm going to try something very. This is beyond insane. Okay,
I realize now.
Yeah.
I realize now what is wrong. Why the history thing failed. It's importing from fastify-dx React, which is the previous name for the package, and now it's at fastify/react. But don't worry about that.
Oh, so I can need to do fastify/dx React.
Fastify/react. Yeah, that is an oversight. I should have updated the fastify at fastify/react.
Okay. So let's update this. Which version should I use for this? 1.0.0?
Let me go back here to the screen. Fastify, yeah, you have a typo on line 13. It does not have the dx dash. It's just at fastify fastify-dx/react.
Ah,
That's
okay.
it.
Cool.
Yeah, and 0.1.0, and the same for fastify-vit at fastify/vit.
So basically the template is not correct.
Yeah, the starter, that was an
Okay,
oversight. I
and
thought I
then
had
here,
updated that. Same thing. Yeah, these dependencies is actually just used by internal tools for testing, so you can ignore those for now. I'll get the starter template fixed.
yay! You see, I'm very good at doing the debugging stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, fastify-dx itself is ready. The thing that I'm working on is the documentation.
I've seen
So,
the problem. I am seeing the problem. Don't worry. Okay, so we have created this thing up. What can we do now? Okay, so we have Fastify. Yeah, okay, so we have to do this. So we go in here and let's stop this. And then
also,
npmi, sorry, nvm
and
use
then
18, npmi.
you change server.js file, updating ports there as well.
Server.js file?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, just rename
Okay, and
fastify-dx.
this needs to be changed too.
Yeah. Also remove the dx there.
Yeah. Okay.
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 Let's see
So
if it's still
npm
working.
run dev. No, it's failing.
Yeah, it's vit config.
Oh, the vit config. Yep. Makes sense. So yeah, something like this.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Here we go. Okay. Ooh.
What is that?
Haha, it's a lot of fun. Every single time
Give
I
me a
touch
sec.
something, it breaks. So, you basically, you see, and this is the trend of these streams. So everything doesn't never work. So just to be clear,
I
it's
think.
it's a
Well,
it's a
let
living
me.
Q&A session essentially. So
I don't know.
can I do a clean somehow here? Because maybe like these update stuff, is it a clean? How can I clean stuff? Maybe ls client. Is there a this? No, there's no build stuff. So I should be. There's no.
It's weird because okay, just a second.
Yeah, everybody loves debugging. So you see, it's that's why I get people in the stream. So
Okay. I think you might have got it. I don't know what's up with Digit, but I'm seeing different code. So let me. Can I ask you to do just a clone from dev? Clone the repository, fastify-dx.
okay, from fastify-dx or what should I do?
Just do a clean clone of the fastify-dx, the entire repository.
So I should zap this folder, this content.
Yeah, yeah. Drop that. Let's start over with well, actually, just grab yourself a copy of the full repository, the fastify-dx repository.
Yeah, okay.
Make sure that you're
Let's
in the
do that.
dev
So
branch.
okay, let's do that. So github.com fastify-dx. Let's do that. Clone, copy, terminal. Here we go. Okay, git clone.
All right.
And cd fastify-dx. What are you
CD
using?
starters.
What
CD
are you using for
starters
restart
slash.
for this? Is this npm workspaces?
Oh no, I have my own setup.
Oh my
I have my
goodness.
own
Okay.
setup. It's a ZX setup. Yeah. Going to the starters
Okay.
/ React.
Yeah.
npmi.
Okay. We love debugging. So if anybody wants to come and debug code, I'm always available on this Twitch stream to help them and join, and I will absolutely help them break whatever they're doing and look, have fun. So it's
Okay.
Oh,
No,
can you
and-
summarize what's going on debugging? I don't know. Like, I tried the demo of fastify-dx. It was not working, so we are trying to fix it. Okay. I
Yeah,
tried
we
to
have the starter template. Yeah.
the starter template. Okay. It's
Was outdated. Yeah. Okay, so now npm run dev.
okay. Here we go.
Oh, you still have the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
it's not the other one. I need to do the same fix in package.json that I did before. Okay. So, okay, let's repeat ourselves. And this needs to be 1.0. It's
That's something's off. Let me show you what I mean. Oh, I see now. Your when you use digit, it pulls from the main branch, and you're still in the main branch. Go
yes.
into the dev branch. Dev branch. Everything you have done in the past 1 minute and a half, do from the dev branch, not the main branch.
Why are you in the dev branch?
That is a question I'm asking myself right now.
Yeah, you should. Okay, so okay, npm I. Let's see what's in here. Okay. Oh, now
You see?
it's okay. Now looks better. Okay, why these are not in sync?
Yeah, on oversight.
Okay, npm run dev. Cool. And oh, part is already in use now. This we can fix. No -v nvm use 18. Okay, open server port. This is correct.
No, the port. I think you have a lingering vit running somewhere because the error is that you're trying to boot the same.
No,
website
it's fine. It's fine.
before.
It's fine. This is now going good. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, you should be
Oh,
able-
now it's running. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's so if I go back in here, okay, so hello Jonas, here we go, and okay, it's working.
Now you can get your platformatic mojo going. You can get your platformatic
Mojo going. There is a
going.
question from the chat. Why use Fastify instead of Express? Couple of reasons. The first one, very clearly, is that I wrote Fastify. So hopefully that is a good reason for you. And going back to the other reason, it's Fastify offers a significantly better environment for building applications than Express does. And while Express is still a little bit simplistic, Fastify provides a full environment to build stuff. I can go on and on to do that.
Also,
Oh yeah,
read that
yeah,
blog post.
that's a good link. Yeah, you could do quite amazing things with Fastify that you can't even phantom with Express. And plus, it's faster quite a bit actually. Yeah, you probably should try it out. Anyway, so let's go back in the stuff. So let's try. So okay, we have this server going. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and more secure. Yeah, well, there is that too. Okay, so right now I'm going to do an mrf here on my old folder. Okay, and zap all the stuff. Okay, then I'm going to do a cp-r in fastify-dx. No, oh, sorry, dot. Okay, fastify-dx. And then we are getting the starters, React, okay, and I'm getting it all in here. Yeah, sorry. What I done? Yeah, I need. Okay, and let's do a copy, and let's call it React. Let's call it. Yeah, no, let's call it React. That's fine. Cool. Okay, let's move React to front end. Okay, so we have our front end bits here. Okay, git status. So I can just do git add. So we know what's going on here. And it's React. Hello, hi, Beppel Keppel. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but yay. How are you doing today? Hello. Fastify-dx. Okay. So, Beppel Keppel. Okay. So let's push this so it's on the streams repo. Okay, so now what we want to do, we might want to hook up some platformatic stuff in here. First of all, let's try something completely insane, okay? Which I don't think it will work, but you know, that's the topic of the stream, right? Do things that don't work. So let's write something called platformatic so what you can do with platformatic is that you can, for example, let's say let's call it backend and cd backend, and then you can do platformatic init. Oh, sorry, no, platformatic db init, and it's to create some bunch of stuff for us. So let's create a package JSON, and then we can grab those things, and which are very useful. And yay. So we are grabbing those things and installing them. Takes forever as usual. Oh, hi Max. I'm very happy when I have people with a name and not a long handle, because that I cannot pronounce. My keyboard is awesome. Yeah, I know. Now the keyboard is awesome. Okay, the keyboard is actually awesome. This is a Keychron, and you should buy one. You know, and I'm not getting any money from them to recommend them. So please buy one of those. Okay. So so Jonas, add. Yeah, totally add. Okay. Yeah, they're amazing. Okay, so I've run the stuff. So now what we want to do a little bit of a small to-do list. Okay, so in here, let's see, create table if not exist is to-dos. Then we have an ID, and it's a to-do list as a title. How do you call the property on your demo? Is a title, or is a it's a title? Yeah.
It's a flat array. There's
Okay, so let's call them items. Okay, and then each item has a title. Okay, and then here drop table items. Okay, now we have created we have our migrations. Then we can 11 and 28. Then we go in the backend, and then we can do plt db migrate, and it's running. Okay, so then we can do plt db start, and then we are doing it. We can switch, and then we can go to localhost 3042. Okay, and in here, for example, we can go to OpenAPI, and we see we have a bunch of stuff already created for us, items and so on and so forth. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so we can do a couple of things. So the first thing that we want to try is in the code in the front end. Okay, what I would like to do is to, instead of using your embedded code, where is the status?
Context.js.
It's in
context.js.
Context.js. Okay, so so you use KY Universal? Is it still used at all?
It's used to set the fetch client.
Okay. Oh, okay. So how can I call my API?
You just change the prefix URL.
Yeah. to 3042. Okay.
Mhm.
And
And then
then
you also need to change the endpoints. And the thing about KY is that you don't ever start with a slash. It's going to give you an error. So it will automatically adds the slash.
okay, so
Yeah.
items. So I want the items here. Okay, how can I get all the items? How this is?
Oh, in this example, it's always coming from ctx.server.db to-do list.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, but this function can be async.
Oh, can be async. So we
And,
can make it async. Okay.
mhm.
So
And instead of, yeah,
here I
or you could just load from server.js file as well. But if you do that, then you should always get an
look,
updated
let's
list.
try that. So let's try say okay, const I want this this is the server, okay, the backend. And let's do that. Okay. Ooh. Localhost 3042. Okay, here we go. Oh, Swagger is still on the foreground. Come on. My bad, folks. Okay, now it should be good. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so what do we do?
So
It's const the data. Okay, await fetch, and this is the backend, and the plus
you have a typo.
where?
Backend. You wrote backend.
Oh, okay, yeah, great. Okay, so then we have ctx state to-do list, and it's data body.json, something like that. And then this is I just want the titles. So
This fetch. Oh, you're using the globally available fetch function, right?
of
You're not
course
using the
I kind of made that happen in Node. Of course I'm actually going to
yeah.
freaking use the thing. Okay, you know, it's come on. Otherwise it's going to be super bad. Title, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to use that. I didn't use fetch at the time because I
Okay,
was still on
so
Node 16 and it didn't have
hello.
global
Okay,
this.
so okay, let's go. Let's stop for a second. So I just did this. Okay, so let's see. Well, I would probably need it. Let's see if this works. Okay, so let's go back to Chrome and let's see if this renders. Oh, this is not rendering anymore. Why is not rendering? Let's go
Let's
back,
see.
and it's not rendering because it's not running. What do you think? Should it run? Undici on fire. Yay. Okay, so let's restart. This is still rendering the previous stuff though. Oh, but this is the wrong directory. So it's let's go in where it is. Here, so cd code from Twitch 1128. Okay, cd frontend, and then npm run dev. Okay, here we go. It's complaining. Yeah, this is the problem with this stuff, unfortunately. The sooner Node.js supports API balls, the better. So if you goes this,
Yeah,
it's
happens to me all the time.
API balls. Anyway, so let's go back and see it's what it is. Okay, and it's complaining internal server error fetch failed. Ooh, fetch failed?
An opportunity for better error handling there.
Fetch failed. Well, fetch failed. That's cool. Oh, but it's still... Oh, sorry. I didn't restart this. Why didn't pick it up? Didn't reload? It does not reload automatically?
There are some kinks there.
Yeah. So now you
for the
see,
hot
now it's
reload.
going data body JSON. So I probably made a mess on the fetch syntax. So fetch JSON parsing. I actually made this thing happen. So, oh, it just due to so not body.
It's
Okay, cool.
just, yeah.
Okay. So I'm so used of the other API that we have in Undici. So, okay. So here I just need to do a body. Okay. So going in on this other thing. Okay. It actually reloaded. It's telling it's reloaded the thing.
Yeah, there are some kinks there. Sometimes it says things reloaded, but they didn't really. Yeah,
It's yeah.
that's one such case.
Yeah,
One
man.
such case, yeah.
This needs a fix. Okay. Okay, this is empty. Let's try and add something here. Okay, so if you want to add something, let's use GraphQL. So let's do mutation. Let's say save item, input, title, fix fastify-dx, auth reload. And then,
yeah, most of it works. It's just some cases. In the case of context.js file, I'll need a custom handler for the hot reloading.
okay, we have stored this. Now let's see if I go back in here and reload. It appears. So this is working. Okay. So
and if you look to the HTML, you're going to see that the state that was loaded on the server should be right at the bottom. The script tag after main.
After
script directly after main.
Okay. Yeah.
You should see that.
Yeah. To-do list. Okay. So let's change this a little bit. Okay. So let's go back in our terminal. Okay. And but I don't want to do this mapping. Okay. Because it's ugly. So let's do that. Okay. Which means I will need to change some stuff here for the rendering, right? Where should I do that change?
Well, all the pages that use that list, which would be using auth, using data, and using store.
Using auth?
Yeah, any of those you're using store.
Okay, so let's just zap using auth. We are not using it, so I'm just deleting it. Okay, cool. Yeah, deleted. Let's see how it goes. Okay, this still seems to still be running. Okay, and then you say using. So we were using store. This is the using store.
Yep.
So what does using data do?
Oh, it's just an example using the get data export. So this is similar to get server-side props in Next.js.
Okay, yeah. We'll fix both. Okay, so we are in using store. So using store item, so item dot title. Okay, and then so this is the store. So if I reload this, it's not working anymore. Let me see why it's not working. Let's kill it and restart it. Maybe it does work now. It's working. Okay, cool. The store is working. Okay, so then it's... Let's go back in here.
One point I would like to make is that you're using fastify-dx with an external API, so we have two JavaScript projects, but you could be using just one monolithic.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to try next. But first, I wanted to have it all running on the same on one single thing. Then I'm going to mesh them together. Okay. So we have this. Can we just add item? Okay. So add item. Where is add item come from?
Add item.
So on claim
line 12.
Line 12. Oh, so actions. Where does actions come from?
Context.js.
It's always context.js. Yes. Okay. Here we go. So put items. So I don't want to put. I just want to post, man. Okay.
And you probably want to use. Oh, you're using the KY client for these. You're using the fetch for the initial load, and you're using the KY client for these.
I don't
these
know
methods.
why. Okay.
But you could. Yeah, at the time I didn't have Node 18. I didn't have
Can I
Fetch
just use
globally
fetch everywhere?
available. Yeah, you're
Can
on
you
Node
just drop
18.
this guy? Okay, I'm just dropping this guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna make the starter template so much better.
Okay, so, okay, easy. Okay, something that I did not understand it got removed. So much better. Okay, so here I can just do then const data, await, fetch, and I need probably to pass an option here or something. How do I do a post? So back.
It's the second parameter
Yeah,
method.
so I need to do here slash items, okay, and then here I need to do method post, okay, and then I need to post the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to specify the body, and can I just put an object here?
No.
Oh, okay.
You need to JSON stringify it.
Oh, okay. JSON stringify. Okay, item, and then I probably need to pass in some headers and content
type
and application JSON. Okay, we are doing it well, maybe. Okay, let's see if it's working.
Yeah, you removed a piece of it, which was the state update. So we need that. Yeah.
So okay, I sent the command. Let's see if it actually happened. So this is save item, and then we can do query all items. Oh, sorry, this needs to go on top. Items. ID title. And I want to run all items. Nope, it didn't go through. Okay, let's go back in the code and first of all let our stream update. Okay. So
you didn't restart fastify-dx. A context.js, it's the one thing that needs fixing for hot reload.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I need to restart this. Okay. And then okay, let's try it again. So reload. And so here we go in B. Okay, and let's see if this is working. Nope, it's not working. Let's see what's going on.
Let's see developer. Let's see developer console. Yeah.
Oh, you see, it's my fault. It's freaking coarse.
It's freaking coarse.
It's always.
Now it's a good time. Now it's a good time to do. Oh, you have an easy fix for that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, of course you do.
It's already included in Platformatic DB. So hopefully this will work out of the box, and let's see if it works out of the box. And let's reload this, and let's send add. Let's see if this went through. Items.
Bad request.
This is bad request. Okay, so this is complaining. I will playing to get eat bingo. Yeah, of course we are trying to eat bingo. You know, it's what is this about? Okay. Okay.
The body format.
It was on here. Just a second. So request completed. Body must be object. So we are not sending anything. Of course, item is a text. So it's not, this makes total sense. So this is title. Ooh. Okay, so I need to restart this. Okay, we are starting this up. Okay, now reloading. And let's try again. A. This has gone well. Let's see if it appears over here. Oh, it worked. Okay.
There you
It
go.
did work. Okay. So now, okay. Now, no, it's going well. So we need to update my code here to do a re-rendering. Okay. So cost item. It's
Just take to the list push.
yeah,
Oh
but
yeah, I mean that would be the proper way. Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting that
Where
data, and then I am state dot to do list push item. Okay, let's try this. See if it works. So I need to kill and restart. Man, you need to fix this auto reloading because it's not.
first thing.
It's not
First
going
thing.
well otherwise. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So it's going into this. Okay, now let's reload this up. Okay, so BBB, and I'm adding it. It's working. Okay,
Yep.
and if I'm going here, all items, it's storing them. Okay,
There you go.
here we go. Okay, so now we
I'm
can.
actually curious to see how I would add platformatic DB into the starter template. How what needs to happen there?
Okay, so we user. I don't like. I'm dropping this authenticating thing. We are not using. How do we delete this? So you had a using data, right? That we need to fix too.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I get to it? Go back to the index. Okay, using data.
Yeah, still using the old.
Okay. And then I can go into using data here.
Yeah, this example is not using the store. It's not using the context.js file. It's using the get data export, and you see that at the top you have a get data function export, and the same thing that you did for the context.js file, you would have to do. You have to turn the get data function into an async function and do the request on line 10.
So
Because
wait a second.
those are two different ways to work with data. One, the use and store example, you're actually populating the data that you need from the context.js
Okay.
file. Using data is an isolated example, so it's
okay.
not using any.
So let me finish. So basically, we have.
You want to delete that? Yeah,
I can
mean,
delete that. Okay. Cool.
using
Easy.
data, and also the. Oh, you already deleted the using auth. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Those other examples are just rendering.
No. I'm just cleaning this thing up a little bit. Okay. So index.js root. Okay. And where is the index? Okay. We have removed the using data. We have removed the auth client only, server only. Let's remove everything. Okay. And so we are list is somewhere. Okay, cool. And now if it's okay, let's see if this is still working. Okay, so I'm going here. Using data is not using data. It's not there, of course. If we go is using store, it's working. Okay, cool. But it's why? Oh, I didn't save this. Okay. So here we go is slash, okay, using store. Okay, so this is one link and we go there. Cool, okay. So now let's do a commit with this stuff. Because we got it more or less working, okay? So, example working. Hello, just tuned in. What are we building? Oh, well, Crash 16. What are we building? I'm just building some light integration between testing a new open source project called fastify-dx with Jonas, a friend of mine. which just joined me up, and he done a little bit of a talk before explaining what it was, because I didn't have a clue about what it was. And now we are I'm just trying it out and finding bugs all the time, and basically eating all roadblocks essentially, and trying to figure it out what to do with it. Okay, so now what we are going to create now is I'm going to copy the front end because it's a way more complex setup. And I'm going to do cp-r front end, and call it all together. Let's call it the monolith. Okay. Now we're going to do something insane. Okay. So let's open it up. Okay. So instead of having server.js, so I'm going to create here. I'm going to do cp. I want from my backend the platformatic db.json. I want to copy the migrations folder. Okay. Okay, and then I think we are good. I need to stop this. And stop.
There's a bit of boilerplate that you need in server.js, right?
Not so much, to be honest. I can just hack it around. So let's just do one level up and one level up. Okay. Yeah, if you need to go, we can quit, whatever, man.
No worries.
I'm just messing around at the minute. So here we have types plugin.js. Okay. So we need to create a plugin.js file, and plugin.mjs. Well, wait a second. No, because you already said this is set up for being a ES module, right? So project. So that's fine. We support that. Okay. So plugin.js. In here we need this is your server, and we have all your stuff. Okay, which I'm going to copy and then editing ruthlessly. So no, sorry, it didn't work. Okay, we don't need Fastify. We need Vite. We need React. Okay. These
essentially turning this into a plugin.
Yeah,
a Fastify plugin.
Pretty much. So what I'm going to do is export default async function fastify, and let's call it server because you add it as server. Okay, and then I'm copying this up. Okay, and then I need in the client to make a change so that we are in context.js. We
change the backend, right?
Yeah. It's port 3042. Yes, it's all running in the same thing, so we are fine. But I think we can just get away with just saying slash. Does it work? Does fetch work with relative?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Not on the server.
True. Not on the server. So okay, on the server. Okay. This is cool. Okay. On the server, we can do something funnier, because we can do await. So is ctx.server, right? Okay, so
that's your Fastify instance.
Platformatic.
Nice.
Entities, and this is item find, and here we go.
Awesome.
So okay, it should work. Platformatic db migrate, and it should set it up. Da. And we need to add those things so that it types work. That's not really necessary, so whatever. Now what we can do. So I have a question for you. Can I turn on the dev mode from the command line, from an option, or I need to pass --dev?
You can go into the plugin and just set dev to true.
Yep, let's try do that, because otherwise this is going to be ugly. So here, dev true. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Platformatic DB start. Will it explode? It doesn't explode.
Oh my God. Did it work in the first try?
It's, man, it is.
There
Very
are
close.
some things.
Very close.
Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on.
It's not loading some of the stuff, okay? But it's not respond. The CSS is not connected correctly. It's always an emotional roller coaster, Simon. Every single time, you know, it's every single of these streams has been an emotional roller coaster, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's weird.
Man,
Look.
it's the pile of software this is going through of two experimental things meshed together. I am not even want to try on understanding what's going on. So
yeah, you're gonna have to leave that for my debugging. But I'm curious. It looks like the Vite development server is not
running
for some reason. Yeah.
Is dev true? Is dev true?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, but it's, you see here it's not.
Oh, okay. Go back. Oh wait, server Vite ready. Oh, that's. It's probably something related to encapsulation, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Can you place a top level on request? And
let me try something.
Idea.
Okay, let me try something. So let's go FP from Fastify plugin. Okay, and then I can do this. Okay, let's see. Let's keep encapsulation. It's working now.
There you go.
Now it's complaining of something that is not finding somebody, but.
Oh, that is the WebSocket port. You probably need to restart.
Yeah, well, it probably crashed badly. Yeah. It did crash, but don't worry about it. Yeah,
it's because you already have.
No, but sorry. This is okay. You know why this bad crash is happening? Look at this bad crash.
What? Oh my God! What is that?
This is because it's Platformatic DB, Platformatic as a watch mode, and you have a watch mode. My watch mode is significantly more fancy than your watch mode, and more native, and it's crashing badly. So now I'm disabling the watch mode, okay, and I'm setting this to false, and let's see if it starts. It's now starting, okay, and now in Chrome it's there, and let's try hello add. It's not working, but oh, we are getting there. Oh, backend is not defined. Okay, but this is my bad, because I can just go back in here, and it's my bad. I made a mess. So using store, no, is in context. Okay, and it's here, backend. I did not remove it. Yeah. Now I can go to Chrome, and I need to reload. Sorry, I need to. It's not. Yeah, let's reload the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then say it's working.
Oh my God.
And now we have integrated one thing with the next.
Yep. And it's amazing.
Oh
I
man,
mean, I hadn't personally tried Platformatic yet, but I now know, have seen it with my eyes. It's amazing.
it's we have integrated, and now we have a system that, you have
So
your.
you're generating the graphical schema from the SQL
Yeah,
Lite
yeah,
schema.
yeah. So, oh, but you haven't seen something even cooler. Okay, so it has item saved, and I'm starting a GraphQL subscription. Now I'm opening your front end that we just wrote, adding one element, and you get it in the GraphQL subscription.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool, right, man? It's
Yeah. Now I want to try your stuff now.
it's go way fancy stuff. No, this was actually fun because we were able to prove that we can plug things together in a fancy way.
And also, we found a few bugs that are annoying, such as the context.js hot reload,
Yeah, you
and
see.
also the fact that if you are integrating a piece of Fastify Vite code into an existing Fastify application, you need to be mindful about encapsulation.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Crash 16. Yeah, there is. We have going for like almost 2 hours, and well, not 2 hours, but yeah, very close. And then there will be a recording on YouTube and later on Twitch too. So if you want to catch it up, you can do fast forward. And let's see. But oh, this was cool, right? We got something very
Yeah,
nice done in the end. I'm very.
yeah,
This is intriguing. Okay, I really want to know what Simon thinks of this integration. Simon is a huge fan of Astra, so what do you think about it, Simon? Can you give us a little bit of a hint on what you like or not about this?
that is coming.
So
Yeah.
we are going to do a starter kit. Okay, cool. Um, it's pretty nice. Okay. Is there any cool
It's funny.
Yeah, tell me,
Sorry.
Jonas.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I double checked it like this 10 times and there were still errors. Um, Silly things like
Sorry.
the fact that we were using the wrong branch. Oh my God.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
it's fun. I also thought, hey, don't worry, if there's a problem, we're going to debug it live and it's going to be fun. And that's essentially what happened.
Yeah, okay. So basically they told me that we should write somebody, okay? So this is what they told me, and let's send a ride to my good friend, the Primagen. They told me that we should send a ride. Thank you guys for joining. By the way, this was so cool. I have never done a ride before, so that's the first time I'm going to do it. And there's also Jonas around, so let's send you all to over there. Thank you for joining, and I'm going to stream again this week later on Thursday, doing probably more some platformatic or fastify development. So we'll see what's going to happen. And thanks, Jonas, for coming. I really need to go to see my daughter.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Here we go. We are going to the Primagen. Here we go. Hello. Hello. So I don't know how this works. So, but it's very fun. Bye.